Growing your side hustle can be such a challenge. You really want a lot of great customers, but they don't seem to be coming fast enough, and you're just not sure how to reach more customers. You're trying to do this on a budget, so you don't have a lot of money to spend on advertising or paying somebody else to go get you customers. So what do? Social media can be a huge part of this strategy, and it's virtually free. I say virtually because, well, it can cost you nothing except your time. So, as far as monetarily, social media can be a free, great resource to use to reach potential customers and grow your side hustle. Today, I will walk through with you how to do this, how to use social media, how to leverage the free power of social media to get customers online. You don't even need to leave your house to do it. The first step is understanding your audience. You've heard me talk about your perfect avatar before. And I know. I hear all the pushback all the time, but everybody's my customer, or I want money from everybody is more the mindset. Well, the more you can focus, the more you can niche down, the more you can identify the specific customer, the more customers you actually get. I know it sounds counterintuitive. I know it sounds different than what you expect, but when you focus on a specific customer, you will get more customers. Really, this works. I've seen this play out time and time again with my customers, whether they're small businesses or big businesses. When they niche down, when they focus on their ideal customer, they get a lot more customers and they get better customers. So the first thing you need to do is identify exactly who is your customer. Are they male? Are they female? Are they married? Are they single? Do they have kids? Where do they live? What do they do for fun? What is it that makes up their life? What kind of money do they make? When you can figure this out, you can start to identify who that ideal customer is, and you can speak directly to that ideal customer. This matters because when you speak to them in their language, your conversation isn't all over the place. So even those other people, those everybody's that you think are your customer, they now start to hear what you're saying because you're not speaking all over the place. Believe it or not, whether or not you realize it, when you speak to a specific avatar, it works. And you may think what you're saying is very consistent, but it may not be clear. And when you speak specifically to your avatar, you speak very clear. So identify who that ideal customer is and give that avatar, that fake customer that you've designed as your ideal customer, give that customer a name. Now, everything you do from here is going to focus on that particular avatar. Today, we're going to call him Jim. So when you speak, you're going to speak to Jim. Now, when using social media to reach your ideal customer, your Jim, we need to identify what social media does Jim use. Is Jim on TikTok? Is Jim on Instagram? Is Jim on Facebook? Is Jim on YouTube? These are questions that we start with. The next step is to identify what Jim is doing on each one of these platforms. Let's take TikTok, for instance. If Jim is on TikTok, he's most likely scrolling through TikTok while on the toilet and really taking no action to buy anything or pay attention to your message. So Jim might not be the type of person you would target on TikTok. So if Jim is your ideal customer, let's look somewhere else. Yes, Jim is on TikTok, but you might not be able to reach him with an actionable step for him to call you or do business with you using TikTok. Is Jim on Facebook? Well, I don't know. Think through this. And if Jim is on Facebook, is he scrolling that? Is he interacting? Think through this. Think through what your ideal customer does. Let's look at Instagram. Is Jim on Instagram? How about Pinterest? Pinterest is often forgotten about. Your customer could very well be on Pinterest, and Pinterest can be a moneymaker. So think about how your ideal customer might be using Pinterest and then what you would do on Pinterest to reach this ideal customer. So think through all these platforms. Quite often, every demographic is on YouTube, but how they use YouTube and how they interact with YouTube can vary. So if you go to the YouTube route, you would need to communicate in a way that they understand. Again, when you focus on your ideal customer, you can communicate directly to them and other people will hear the message. So now that we know who our ideal customer is and we've identified the platforms that they're on where we're able to interact with them in a meaningful way, not just create content that they scroll past or they think is funny and move on. No, we want content that they're going to interact with. And by interacting, ultimately I mean schedule our services, buy our product, whatever that is that puts cash in our pocket. So these are the first two steps. Identify your ideal customer, identify the social media platforms that we can actually interact with them on. Now, once you identify the social media platforms that you could interact with them on, you need to identify one social media platform that you're going to use. When you try to use them all, you don't do well at any of them. So you start with one platform, and you develop content specifically for gym and that platform. The way you create content for YouTube is actually different than the way you create content for TikTok. And when you try and create content for both, it really doesn't work well. So knowing who you're reaching and the platform that you're using, you create content specific for gym on the platform that you're going to be using. This content is going to get noticed. So this is how we start to reach them. Now, what do we do from there? Well, in our content, we always want some kind of clear action to take, and we can sometimes disguise it, but it still needs to be clear. So by disguising it, I mean, like, sometimes we don't say, buy from me right now. That's just a desperate. You could say, hey, for a quote, call. You could say, all this stuff is available, call now. You could just say, hey, you could get all of this from Bob's Landscaping or whatever your side hustle is. But there's something that you want people to do. Hey, leave a comment down below. That's another great call to action. It's kind of disguised and kind of not. It's very clear. I want you to leave a comment. By doing that, by having that person interact with you, that exact piece of content might not create the call, but it pushes them up in the algorithm to see more of your content. And when they see more of your content, they begin to like, know, and trust you, and then they start to call you and schedule your services. So it's not always a buy now or a call now. Sometimes it's just a, hey, watch another video. Hey, look at another piece of content. Hey, comment. Hey, like. Something like that. But you don't put them all in one post or one content or in one video. You sprinkle it around. In today's video, maybe you ask them to comment. In tomorrow's video, maybe you ask them to like. In the next video, maybe you ask them to call. So you keep sprinkling this around so that they keep interacting with your content, and by seeing you regularly, they get to know you and they like you and they trust you. And when they like you and trust you, they are very likely to do business with you. Also, another great piece of content is show them behind the scenes. This is something that's not done very often. To you, a day in the life is boring, but to a potential customer, this is exciting. How does this work? How do they do it? So let's just say you're starting a lawn mowing side hustle, or you are a lawn mower. So what you could do is show them how you load up the truck in the morning, how you mow the lawn, why you do different patterns in the lawn, how you edge, how you blow, how you take care of somebody's property, you pack up and you leave and you go on to the next one. A day in the life. It can actually be exciting to somebody who's not in your industry. You always think it's not interesting. But do you watch videos of other people doing their things? Well, those people that you watch think their life is boring or their thing is boring, but you still watch their video because you are interested in it. Just like your potential customers are interested in what you do, and you're behind the scenes boring content. But it's not boring. It's just boring to you because it's everyday life to you. Now, when people do comment or interact with your content, it's important to engage back. People like interaction. So it doesn't mean you need to respond to every single thing. And there are going to be some people out there who just like to comment silly things or mean things. That's okay. Just leave them go. It's fine. They don't really matter to you. The people who engage positively with you, engage back. Hey, Joe, thanks so much for your comment. I never thought about that perspective about whatever. And engage in a good way. You don't need to be defensive. Be engaging. Even if somebody has a differing point of view, hey, Joe, thank you for your differing point of view. It's great to hear from others who see things in different ways. So interact in a positive way with people. The more you interact in a positive way, the more people want to interact with you. Yes, this will also invite some dodo heads. And well, the dodo heads, just leave them alone, let them do whatever and move on. Now, if they're being offensive, you can report them or remove their posts in most situations. So then report them and move on. Don't let it get your day down. Now, as far as lead generation, so by creating great content, people will naturally want to reach out to you. But also to get more contact information, more opportunities to sell to somebody, yes, you would post a call now every now and then as a call to action. You could also provide like free resources. Let's say you're a lawn mowing company. Hey, how to make your lawn the greenest lawn in the neighborhood. Click this link. I'll send you a free PDF on how to do it. And in this PDF, you've got a step-by-step guide on how to get your lawn the greenest. But when they click that link, it takes them to a page where they have to put in their email address for you to email the form to them. And this can be automated, very easily automated, so that this way you're starting to collect email addresses. Now, don't spam all these email addresses, but what you can do is every few weeks or once a month, you can send them a informational message that's not posted as your regular content. Hey, just wanted to let you know I'm here. I've got some great information. Spring is coming, and now is the time to be planting your flower beds. And here's some great tips on making your flower beds pop. So now you're regularly communicating with them in another way. And in these messages too, towards the end, you can say, hey, need help with your flower beds or your lawn maintenance this year? Give me a call. And put that right there. Call now. Your phone number. Or schedule your lawn care now. Click here. The more you can remove friction, the easier it gets. So if you can do a schedule now option or a buy now option instead of a call now, you'll get a better response because people would rather just interact online and not pick up the phone and call. It's just the nature of the society we're in now. So remove as much friction as possible and remove as many steps as possible. The quicker they can get to schedule now, book now, buy now, the faster, the easier, the better it'll be, the more conversions you will get. So these are some great tools. Also, if you're struggling to find some content to make for your social media platforms, you can use AI. It's real easy. You could use ChatGPT, Gemini. It doesn't really matter whose AI you use. You could type in there, hey, I'm working on a side hustle, mowing lawns. Can you help me generate some content for social media? Can you give me 10 ideas for YouTube? Can you give me 10 ideas for TikTok? Or whatever it may be. And when it gives you some ideas, you can even tell it, I like these ideas, I don't like these. Can give me 10 more or 20 or whatever you want. And that way AI can help you brainstorm the content you need for your social media. This will help streamline it so you don't have to think through all of it. But you can read through some of the ideas that come in from AI, decide which ones are good, which ones are not good, and then you can present that content in your way to your ideal person on your ideal social media network. That's it. It's really that simple. You have the ability to create great content. You have the ability to get great customers. I know you can do this. I believe in you. You can stop the ordinary grind and build a life you love.